It's me, Margaret. I hope you all still remember me after all the time I've been away. You all probably thought I was dead. Well, I'm still here. Truthfully, I've been doing a lot of soul searching since you've last seen me. As you may know, I've been around the block more than your average lady. Well, all of my experience has led me to the idea that I should be passing on my wisdom to you younger folks. I ain't gonna live forever, you know. So, I'm starting this series I'd like to call Lip Service with yours truly, Margaret. Apparently, there's already a podcast with a similar name, but I don't give a rat's ass. And you know, when you get to be my age, you probably won't either. What is it with you kids and your podcasts these days anyway? Back in my day, we didn't even have telephones. Now everyone is out there on the streets doing their twerkies and their dick docs. Anyway, I got my first letter in the mail today that I'd like to share with you. Got a little bit of a whiskey margarita here. Okay. Let's see what this says. Oh boy. Dear Margaret, lovely lips. Why, thank you. I've recently started speaking with a man who is 10 years older than me, romantically. Everything seemed to be going great. And then he told me about the vehicle he drives. Margie, it's a lifted Ford pickup truck. Oh. You know what they say about men with large pickup trucks? They're overcompensating. Margaret, what I'm trying to ask is how to address the elephant in the room, or maybe mouse. How do I find out if the myth of large truck equals small pee-pee penis? Hope you're able to help. From Nicole, age 28, from Coxsackie, New York. Well, Nicole, thank you very much for your question. I can definitely say I've been in your shoes before. Back when I dated Hank Williams. And then again, shortly after, when I dated Hank Williams Jr. And let me tell you, there's a reason neither of those relationships worked out. Now, I'm not too sure what you're looking for in your love life right now, but here are some things you might want to consider. Right after I have some whiskey margarita. Oh, hold on. Okay. First, does he take good care of his truck? A man who cares about keeping his truck clean probably also cares about keeping his wiener clean. Even if he has a big wiener, you don't want a dirty wiener. It also shows that he knows how to invest in the things that matter to him, aka potentially you. Another thing to consider is the age difference. If this is something you see being a lifelong romance, keep in mind erectile dysfunction is becoming more and more common in younger men. and becomes even more frequent after the age of 50. Believe me. Even if this man does not have a small wiener, there's still the possibility it might not even work. Maybe it will now, but in 10 more years, maybe it won't. Now, to address your question, you need to find out how big this man's wiener is. Well, here's a little story. See, back in my day, I used to be a hooker. I spent lots of years going around touching wieners. And looking back now, I really wish I had some stronger boundaries. Then again, if I hadn't touched so many wieners, I probably wouldn't be here now to help people like you in need. Anyway, my advice is, don't touch this man's wiener until he deserves it. This man should be consistently doing nice things for you because he wants to, and not because he just wants you to touch his wiener. You want to make sure he won't disappear on you once he gets what he wants. And in case that he does, you want to make sure you're not giving him anything until he gives you something first. Now let's just say you're looking for a little no-strings-attached nookie, and you think this man might be a good candidate. In this case, the easiest way to find out how big this man's wiener is what I like to call the gotcha. Nothing like a good whiskey margarita. Okay, here's how it works. You're watching a film on the television with your man, and before you know it, you have your tongues in each other's mouths. Things are getting a little hot and heavy, you know? And he might even touch your boob. At this point, he should have an erection. And if he doesn't, he has erectile dysfunction, and you should think about whether or not you're okay with that. Now, let's say he's still got his jeans on. Or maybe it's too dark and you can't see if he has a stiffy or not. Here's where you need to make sure you are in a close enough position where you can make a subtle feel for it. I want you to wait for him to grab your boob. Remember, don't give him anything until he gives you something first. Then, as soon as he puts his hand on your boob, I want you to grope him in the wiener and say, "Gotcha!" Make sure you keep your hand there for as long as you can, at least until you can get a good idea of how big it is. And don't worry about his reaction. If he doesn't like the gotcha, I'm sorry, sweetie, but he's just not the man for you. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful, Nicole. And thank you again for sending in your question. For the rest of you viewers, if you'd like my advice, you can send an email to lovelylipsmargaret69, my favorite number, at hotmails.com. I hope you all have a lovely evening. Thank you for watching.